Hello, my name's Simon Zutshi, and in this property education video, I want to share with you my property prediction for 2025. Now, nobody knows what's going to happen in the property market. This is just my view. I have been investing for almost 3 decades and teaching people like you how to become more successful investors for over 21 years. And looking at what's happening in the market, I've got a few ideas on what I think is going to happen. So in this video, I'm going to talk about property prices, I'm going to talk about interest rates, and I'm going to talk about inflation. Those are the factors that you need to know about if you want to be a successful property investor in 2025. So first of all, let's talk about interest rates. So I believe going into 2025, I think we're going to see interest rates stagnating. Now, obviously, if inflation stays below 2%, which is the target for the Bank of England, if it stays below 2%, then interest rates might well come down further in 2025. However, I believe we're going to see inflation go up. Why do I think that? Well, the Labour government in their autumn budget announced they wanted to have an increase in minimum wage, which I think might be a good thing anyway, but that 6.7% increase is going to affect the economy, more money coming in, and it's going to cause inflation to go up. But more importantly, it's kind of set the precedent. I think whenever the government are looking about setting wage increases, particularly in the public sector, so everyone in the NHS, in the civil service, the fire service, ambulance service, etc., all of those people that are paid by the government, they are going to expect inflation busting pay rises in 2025. So this in itself is going to cause inflation. Now, I'm not sure how accurate the inflation figures are. It kind of depends what they count in their basket of goods. I don't know about you, but when I go to the shops, I feel that prices seem to be getting more and more expensive, certainly for food all the time. And so I'm not sure if the official inflation figures are true or not. But for this reason, I believe that interest rates will either stay where they are or we might actually see them go up in 2025 because of the effect of inflation. So it's a really big one to look at. Keep an eye on the news for those pay rises coming through. If there are lots of big record pay rises, I think that's going to cause us problems later into 2025. So what's the effect going to be on the property market? Are property prices going to go up or are property prices going to crash in 2025? Well, personally, I don't think we're going to see a property crash in 2025. I believe we are going to see property prices start to go up. Now, whenever we talk about this, we're talking very much about an average. In some areas, property prices will stagnate. In some areas, prices may come down. In some, they may go up. Some they might shoot up. But I'm talking about a national average here. I think we're going to see property prices on average be higher by the end of 2025 than they are at the start of 2025. And let me explain why I think that's going to be the case. By the way, I might be completely wrong. Nobody actually knows. I don't have a crystal ball. You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. But let me explain my logic behind my prediction that I'm giving you for the 2025 property market. So I believe, as do most people, that we do not have enough accommodation in the UK. The Labour government and the opposition Conservatives, when they were both campaigning, they said that we needed 300,000 new homes every single year to keep up with the demand of the growing population. We are not building as a country anywhere near 300,000. In fact, last year we built a lot less than 200,000. Now, the government, remember, the government doesn't actually build the properties, but they create the environment for us as developers and big house builders to go and build all those homes. Well, the big builders have certainly slowed down. And for us as small and medium-sized developers to come in, we need to make sure we can make money. Otherwise, why on earth would we take on the risk of doing a development? And some of the Labour government policies don't really align with that. If they're talking about increasing the amount of affordable housing, so when you do a development, there might be a certain percentage of it you need to give to affordable housing. That means that accommodation is sold for a lot lower price. You don't really make any money on it. If there's a too high a percentage of affordable housing within a development, it just doesn't make any money. So while the government is saying they want small and medium-sized developers to help create this affordable housing that is much needed, there's not going to be the financial incentive for us to do that and take on all the risks associated with development. We just do not have enough skilled craftsmen in the UK to actually build 300,000 homes a year. A lot of the current workforce are getting older and older and will eventually be retiring. And we've not had enough apprentice schemes to bring new people into the industry to learn how to be a good builder, carpenter, electrician, plumber, etc. When we had Brexit, we had a huge number of highly talented Eastern European workers leave the UK and go back to Eastern Europe because they were worried about what they may or may not be able to do. Now, in reality, the government wasn't wanting to kick people out. Those are people who wanted to hold on to. But I guess uncertainty is a strange thing. When people don't know what they can do, they sometimes move and they take action. And actually, a lot of those people want to come back now, but now can't get back into the UK because the UK is no longer part of the European Union. So we have a massive shortage of skilled labour, and it's going to take many, many years to get enough people trained up and ready to go. So we're just not going to be able to build enough accommodation to meet the increasing demand. Now, obviously, when we look at interest rates, they might come down. I think they're going to stagnate, or if, as I said earlier in the video, we get inflation, they might actually start to creep up again. That puts off people buying property. If it's too expensive, it's hard for them to get a mortgage because they can't prove the affordability. If it's an investment property, they need to make sure that the mortgage is less than the rent coming in to cover not just the mortgage but also all the bills, and it's hard to get those properties to stack up to make money. So as people struggle to make single let properties work, first time buyers are struggling, I think that's going to be a strong rental demand. People who understand how to invest properly and how to make money from property can see there's actually a great opportunity, because we have lots of existing landlords who are selling up because it's harder for them to make money. There's more legislation coming in which makes it more difficult to be a landlord, more difficult than ever before. That puts a lot of people off. So if we've got less landlords providing accommodation, that means that rents will probably go up and demand for properties go. So it's a great time to be jumping into the property market, and in the buyer's market we have right now, there are some incredible opportunities. So if you want to get into property, and maybe if you're a renter and you're thinking about, well, you know, I don't want to be renting and rent's getting high, maybe you can actually buy a property. Now you might sit there saying, well, it's all right for you, Simon, you can afford to get I don't have a deposit, I can't get a mortgage. Well, there are other ways that you can actually acquire a property without actually buying it. For example, if you've watched my videos before, you'll know there's a very powerful property investing tool called a purchase lease option. And what you can do, you could go and find a property that's on the market that maybe someone's trying to sell or they're happy to rent as well. And you basically get an option agreement to buy this property, not now, but sometime in the future. You lock in a price based on today's current market value. You actually become a tenant in that property, what we call a tenant buyer, looking after the property as if it was your own home. So that means if the door handle breaks, you don't call the landlord to fix it, you would fix it yourself as if it was your own home. And this is preparing you for home ownership. You don't have to put in a big 10, 15, 20% deposit. You just put down a small amount of getting started money, maybe £3,000 or £5,000, more than you would as a normal tenant, but you're not a normal tenant. And then when you buy the property, if you buy the property, what you put down comes off the end price. Now, when I say if you buy the property, because the amazing thing with a purchase lease option is you have the right to buy the property if you want to, but not the obligation. You might enter into a contract, you've got the right to buy in 5 years' time, but if things change for you and you don't want to buy, you don't have to buy. But you've got that option, that choice, that right to buy if you want to, and you could benefit from potential capital growth. And either you could buy that particular property, or maybe you could assign it to someone else and get some of the capital growth on a property that you don't even own, and you could take that profit and put it into property that you do want to buy. So instead of being just a renter, maybe you should be a tenant buyer with this right to buy, looking after property, treating it like your own home. It's great for the landlord, and also it's great for you. And whenever I teach people how to invest in property, I'm always looking for the win-win. You want to make it a win-win for everyone so that people are happy with the deal and they want to move forward. Now, of course, will everyone want to agree to a purchase lease option? No, of course not. It only works for people who are looking to sell, who don't mind renting for a few years and then selling the property because they don't really need the money from the sale now. And I've got lots of videos on this YouTube channel all about purchase lease options. Go and do a look if you want to find more about that. So because there's shortage of supply, I believe we're going to see prices go up. I think people are going to get used to the interest rates. People are going to get used to this extra 5% stamp duty that has been brought in by the Labour government. Obviously, the Conservatives brought in a 3% stamp duty extra charge for second home buyers back in 2016. And at that time, all the investors went, oh my God, deals don't stack up anymore, we can't buy property, it doesn't work. It just took a little bit of time to get used to it and factor in that we buy at a better price to pay for the extra 3%. That's exactly what's going to happen right now. People are going to get used to this 5%, and property investors are still going to buy properties to rent out for people because there's still this high demand of people who cannot afford to buy their own homes. Now, what normally happens in about the springtime, we see a little bit of a pickup in the property market, and that's because it's better weather. People feel about new plans moving in time for the summer. There's always a little bit of a rise in the market, and I think we're going to have that this spring. So I wouldn't be very surprised if on average we see property prices start to rise in Q2 of 2025 and probably continue to rise. I don't think we'll see a big boom. I don't think we're going to see a crash. I think it'll be a steady increase for this year, and prices are probably going to be higher at the end of 2025 than they are at the beginning. So if you're looking to invest in property, I highly recommend you get educated. I highly recommend you build your network of like-minded people around you who can help you to become a more successful investor. Watch all the videos on this YouTube channel, listen to my Property Magic podcast, read my book, Property Magic. That's a lot of free and low-cost resources that will help you to become more successful. And when you decide you want to seriously invest and you want to commit to your financial freedom and invest in property, why not come and do one of our paid courses, and we can help accelerate your success by helping you jump up the learning curve without making the expensive mistakes that most people make on their own. Every month, all around the country, we have our property investor network meetings. These are in the evenings on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so most people can do it after work. And we have a variety of people who are completely new to property, to people who've got 1 or 2 properties, to people who've got 8 or more properties who come along because they value networking. Now, if you've been to a PIN meeting before, you know how powerful they are, and I highly recommend you book into your PIN meeting in January to commit to your personal success in 2025. If you've not been to a PIN meeting yet, oh my God, you're missing out. You can come along to your very first one as our guest. Now, it's normally £25, but instead of paying, we want to take any risk away from you. You can go to the link below this page, which is pinmeeting.co.uk, find your local meeting, check the details, check the date, and when you scroll down to the bottom of the page where you'd normally pay £25, click where it says voucher code and use the code YouTube. Use the code YouTube to bypass the payment page and come to your very first Property Investor Network meeting in January, completely free on us, just to come and see what you've been missing out on. Now, I think you should take action right now when watching this video for 2 reasons. First of all, at every Property Investor Network meeting, we've got 50 of them around the country and a couple in the Netherlands as well. If you book your place at least 72 hours in advance, even if you're coming for free on our voucher code because it's your first time, you get entered into a prize draw. And we have some incredible training in March called our Strategy Implementation Live. It's a 3-day live training in Birmingham. It's a £1,000 event, money back guarantee. No one ever asks for their money back because it's amazing training where we help you achieve more in 3 days than most people do in 3 months on their own. Now that is a £1,000 ticket event. However, if you go to your local PIN meeting and book at least 72 hours in advance, you get entered in a prize draw, and someone at that local PIN meeting is going to win that prize. It could be you. So click on the link below and come and book your place right now. And if you watch these videos as soon as they come out, you'll be in time to book. As long as you book before the 23rd of December, I'm actually going to give you access to some training between Christmas and New Year that I'm doing for people on my mastermind program. This is going to be a very special online goal-setting masterclass to really help you prepare and make the most of 2025. Now, we're selling that for £500, but if you book your place, your local PIN meeting before the 23rd of December, you'll get access to that training completely free as my gift to help you get the most out of 2025. That's why you want to make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so whenever a timely video like this comes out, you can watch it straight away and take advantage of the offer I make or the time-limited training strategy I share with you in that video. There are certain videos I create at certain times of the year where there's certain strategies that you can do that most people are not aware of. And if you watch the video in a timely manner and take action, you will have a competitive advantage over everyone else. So I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you're notified anytime a new video comes out. Click the like button as well, and I'd love you to comment in the video below, what do you think is going to happen in 2025? Nobody knows. I've shared with you my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think, and it'd be great to see what everyone thinks who's watched this video. So come and comment below, and I'll answer as many of those as I possibly can. Until next year, I encourage you, as ever, to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. Click on the link below right now and come and book your next PIN meeting, especially if it's your first time. Remember to use that voucher code, which is the word YouTube, to bypass the payment page and come to your very first PIN meeting completely free of charge. I'm really excited about the property opportunity in 2025. I hope you are too, and we'd love to help you accelerate your property journey. As ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I'll see you in the next video.